Anandam everyone, good morning. Today we're going to learn about operasi pecahan, or in English it's called fraction operation. I have given you a task last week to watch a video on YouTube about how to read fraction and the properties of fraction. Today I'd like to test you whether you already understand or not about the video. So here I have a fraction. In Bahasa we call this fraction as 1/2. In fraction we have two different numbers, the upper number and the bottom number. How do you call the upper number in English? We call the upper number as numerator, or in Bahasa it's usually called pembilang, and the bottom number we call it denominator, or in Bahasa it's usually called penyebut. So again, the upper number is called numerator and the bottom number is called denominator. Then how do you read fraction? Here I have a fraction. To read fraction, you need to read two different numbers in different ways. You read the upper number, or the numerator, normally is like 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, and you read the bottom number in fraction, in which I have taught you about how to read the bottom number previously when you were in grade 3. When the bottom number is 2, you read it as half. When the bottom number is 3, you read it as third. When the bottom number is 4, you read it as quarter. And when the bottom number is 5, you read it as fifth. And when the bottom number is 6, you read it as sixth with a little bit th at the end. Yeah? And when the bottom number is 7, you read it as seventh with a little bit th at the end. But you need to be focused with the upper number, or the numerator. If it is more than 1, you need to say the denominator, the bottom number, with s like this. For example, 3/4 like this. You know that the numerator is 3 and 3 is more than 1. So you need to read quarter with s. So 3/4 with s. Now it's your turn. Here I have some fraction and how to read this fraction in English. The first fraction is 3/2. So how do you read 3/2 in English? You read 3 as normally 3, and you have the denominator is 2. So you check here, you can either choose half or halves. Which one will you choose? Look at the numerator. The numerator is 3 and 3 is more than 1. So you need to choose halves with s. So 3/2 in English is 3 halves with s. Second, 1/5. How do you read this fraction in English? You read 1 as normal 1 and 5. You check here, you have two options, either fifth or fifths with s. Which one will you choose? Look at the numerator, it's 1. So you will choose fifth without s. So how do you read 1/5 in English? You read it as 1/5 without s, yeah? Next, 2/3. How do you read this in English? You read 2 as normal, 2, but you read 3 by looking at here. You have two options, third or thirds. So which one will you choose? You know that 2 is more than 1, so you need to choose thirds with s, because 2 here is more than 1. So how do you read 2/3 in English? As 2/3 with s. Next, 1/4. How do you read 1/4 in English? Again, You read 1 as normal, 1, and 4, you look at here, it's either quarter or quarters. Which one will you choose? Check here, your numerator is 1, so you need to choose quarter. So, you read 1/4, 1 quarter. You read 1 as normal, 1, and you read 4 as quarter without S, because the numerator is only 1. Next, 4/6. How do you read 4/6 in English? Again, you read 4 as normal, 4, and you read 6 by looking here. You have two options, either 6 without S or 6 with S. So which one will you choose? To know that, you look at your numerator, which is 4, and you know 4 is more than 1. So you have to choose 6 with S. So how do you read 4/6 in English? Is 4/6 with S, yeah? 4/6, not 6, but 6. Next, 5/7. How do you read 5/7 in English? Of course, you look at the numerator is 5, you read it normally as 5, and then the denominator is 7. And you look at here, you either have 7 or 7s with S. Which one will you choose? Of course, you will choose with S, because the numerator is 5 and 5 is more than 1. So, how do you read 5/7 in English? Is, sorry, it's not 2/3, but 5/7. This one is wrong, yeah? Okay, so this is the today's topic. Actually, the previous one is a review of your prior knowledge in grade 3, and now, in grade 4, and now the topic for today is equivalent fraction. So we'll continue with equivalent fraction. What is equivalent fraction? Here I have an example. I have 3 different bars. This is the first bar, this is the second bar, and this is the third bar. Please look at the first bar, 1/2 and 1/2. The second bar are divided into 4 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 4 times. And the third bar is divided into 1/8, 8 times. So, if you see the first bar only 1/2, so from here to here, and you look at the second bar again, you will get the length of 1/2 here will be similar as 2/4. So from here to here will be the same. And from here to here is also the same. So how many 1/8 do you have to make it the same? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4/8. The conclusion is you have 3 different fractions with the same value: 1/2, 2/4, and 4/8. That's why we call all these 3 fractions equivalent. As you can see here, that 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4, is equivalent to 4/8, because they are all at the same length. If you don't understand, I have another example for you. Look at these 3 bars, and please be focused only on the blue color parts. You can see that all the 3 blue color parts are the same. Yeah, the first one is 1/3, and the second is 2/6, and the third is 4/12. All these 3 fractions are different. You can see that 1/3, 2/6, and 4/12 are different. But if you draw them in bar like this, they have the same length and area. That means they are actually the same. They are equivalent. So 1/3, 2/6, and 4/12 are equivalent. So what are equivalent fractions? Equivalent fractions are two or more different fractions that have the same value. As you can see here, 1/2, 2/4, and 4/8 are different fractions, but they have similar value. They have the same value, the same length. That's why we call them as equivalent. Likewise, 1/3, 2/6, and 4/12, they are different, but they have similar or the same value. As you can see here, the blue parts are the same. That's why we call them as equivalent. So what are equivalent fractions? Equivalent fractions are two or more different fractions that have the same value. You can see this picture here. Fine, you need to find equivalent fractions. For example, you want to find out fractions that equivalent to 1/2, 1/2. How you do that? Just find out another fraction with the same length. You know that 1/2 is from here to here. So you can see the orange one also have the same border, like the same line like this. So if you add 1/4 with 1/4, you will have 2/4 which the same length as 1/2. So 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4. Yeah, because they have the same length, 2/4. And you can see here, they have also the same length from here to here. So 1, 2, 3. So 3/6. And this also the same length because they have the same line border. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1/2 is also equivalent to 4/8. And this is also. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6/12. In conclusion, we can say that 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4, is equivalent to 3/6, is equivalent to 4/8, is equivalent to 6/12. So you can find any other equivalent fraction easily by using this picture. But what if you don't have a picture? How to find out equivalent fractions without pictures? There are two ways you can find out equivalent fractions without pictures. Method 1 is by multiply the numerator and the denominator with the same number. You can see here I have a fraction 1/2. To find out other fractions that equivalent to 1/2, what I need to do is multiply the numerator 1 and the denominator 2 with the same number. First, I will multiply 1 by 2. That's why I also multiply 2 by 2. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So I got 2/4, which 2/4 is equivalent to 1/2. To find out another equivalent fraction, just multiply the numerator 2 and denominator 4 with the same number, which is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 4 times 3 is 12. So 6/12 is equivalent to 2/4 and 1/2. And again, you multiply 6 by 10 and 12 also by 10, you get 60 over 120, which is also equivalent with all the other three fractions. Yes, yeah. So that is the first method. You can find out equivalent fraction without pictures by multiply the numerator and denominator with the same number. The second method is by divide, membagi. By divide the numerator and denominator with the same number. For example, here I have a fraction 40 over 60. To find other fractions that are equivalent with 40 over 60, what I need to do is that I just divide them with the same number. I divide 40 by 10. I do also divide 60 by 10. So 40 divided by 10 is 4 and 60 divided by 10 is 6. So I got 4 6, which is equivalent with 40 over 60. Again, I can divide 4 by 2 and 6 by 2. So I got 2 thirds, which is also equivalent with 4 6 and 40 60. Okay, here I have some questions. Find the equivalent fraction. Find the equivalent fractions from this fraction 2/5. To find out the equivalent fractions of 2/5, you need to choose either you multiply them with the same number or you divide them with the same number. Which one will you choose? Of course, you will choose multiply both 2 and 5 by the same number, because you cannot divide 2 and 5 by the same number. Okay, so you will choose method 1, multiply 2 and 5 with the same number. Like this, I multiply 2 by 3 and I need to multiply 5 by 3 also. So 2 times 3 is 6 and 5 times 3 is 15. So I got 6 over 15, which is equivalent to 2 over 5 or 2/5. Another example, 6 over 15. Find out an equivalent fraction of 6 over 15. To find out equivalent fraction to 6 over 15, you need to choose either method 1 or method 2. Which one will you choose? Of course, you can choose either, yeah? You can choose method 1 or you can choose method 2. But in this case, it's better for you to choose method 2 because you can divide 6 and 15 with the same number. For example, in this case, I divide 6 by 3. I also divide 15 by 3. So I got 6 divided by 3 is 2 and 15 divided by 3 is 5. So I got 2/5, which is equivalent to 6 over 15. Next, how to add and subtract fraction. Bagaimana cara menjumlahkan dan mengurangkan pecahan? How do you add and subtract fraction? Actually, there are two ways you can do to add and subtract fraction. First, you can add or subtract fractions only if the denominators are the same. For example, 1/4 plus 1/4. You can see that they both have same denominators, which is 4. The denominators are the same, which is 4. So, if this happens, you just can add the numerator directly. So 1 plus 1 equals 2, and just copy the denominators, which is 4 here. So the answer is 2/4. Some students might understand this wrong and just doing like this. 1 plus 1 equals 2 and 4 plus 2 equals 8. So those students get 2/8. Is that right? No, that is wrong. That is wrong. You cannot do like that. To add or subtract fraction, you need to make the fraction have same denominators. 4 like this. And you can only add the numerator. 1 plus 1 equals 2, and just copy the same denominators for here. So the answer is 2 quarters, not 2/8. Remember that. Another example. This example is about subtraction, pengurangan. 3 quarters minus 2 quarters. Do they have similar denominator? Yes, they have the same denominators. Both of them have 4 as denominators. So, if this happens like this, you can just subtract 3 by 2, which is 1, and then copy 4 here. So the answer is 1 quarter. Okay, here I have a question for you. Add the fractions 4 nines plus 4 nines equals blah blah blah. Here you can see that both of the fractions already have the same denominators, which is 9. Both of them have 9 as the denominator, so you just need to copy 9 here. And to find out the numerator, just add 4 plus 4 equals 8. So the answer is 8 9. Second question, subtract the fraction, kurangkan pecahan berikut. We have 5 6 minus 3 6. As you can see, both of the fractions have 6 as the denominator. Both of their denominators is 6. So what you need to do, you just copy 6 here and then subtract 5 minus 3 equals 2. So the answer is 2 6. But you cannot add or subtract fractions if the denominators are different. For example, 1/2 plus 2 6. As you can see, they have different denominators. Here the denominator is 2 and here the denominator is 6. They are different, so you cannot just add them like before. You cannot add them like this. 2 plus 6 equals 8. 1 plus 2 equals 3. You cannot do like that. That's wrong. So what you need to do is this. You need to make both of denominators become the same. You need to make 2 and 6 become the same. So how you do that? You need to think, apakah 2 dan 6 ini punya hubungan? Apakah 2 bisa menjadi 6 atau apakah 6 bisa jadi 2? You need to think like that. Of course you know that 2 can be 6, right? But yes, 2 can be 6 by multiply 2 by 3, you will get 6. That means if you multiply 2 by 6, that means if you multiply 2 by 3, you will get 6, which is the same here also 6. So what you need to do is multiply 2 by 3, and to make it fair, you need to multiply 1 by 3 as well. You have here is 1 times 3 is 3, and 2 times 3 is 6. And just copy this part, 2 6, here, 2 6. And then, now you have the same denominators, 6. So you can just add the numerators, 3 plus 2 equals 5. So the answer is 5 6. Another example, 1/3 plus 1/4. You can see here that both of these fractions have different denominators. They have different denominators. Here the denominator is 3 and here the denominator is 4. They are different. So what you need to do, you cannot add them like this. 1 plus 1 equals 2, 3 plus 4 equals 7. You cannot do that. That's wrong. What you need to do is make 3 and 4 becomes the same. How? Think. Bisa nggak 3 jadi 4? Can you make 3 becomes 4? Cannot. Can you make 4 becomes 3? Cannot. If this happens, what you need to do is multiply them by each other. You need to multiply them by each other. I mean, multiply 3 by 4 and multiply 4 by 3. And then to make this the same, or to make it fair, we need to multiply 1 by 4 as well. And multiply 1 in this part by 4 or by 3 as well. So you will get 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 3 is 3, and 3 times 4 is 12, 4 times 3 is 12. Here you have both fractions have the same denominators, which is 12, right? Both of them having 12 as the denominator. So now you can just add 4 plus 3 equals 7, and just copy 12 here. That's it. Next is how to multiply fractions. Bagaimana cara mengalihkan pecahan? I have a question here. 1/2 is multiplied by 2/6. How do you solve this? This is very easy. What you need to do is just multiply the numerators directly and multiply the denominators directly. So you will get 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 6 is 12. So the answer is 212. Yeah? But next, you need to simplify to 12s because this is not the simplest form. Yeah? Because you can divide them both by 2. So you divide 2 by 2 and you divide 12 by 2. When you divide 2 by 2 equals 1, 12 divided by 2 equals 6. So you can make your answer either 212 or 16. Both of them are right. Another question. This is simplified already. Disederhanakan. Jadi kamu bisa buat jawabannya kayak gini atau kayak gini. Tetapi lebih bagus jika kamu bisa menyederhanakan. Simplify it like this. Next question. 2/5 multiplied by 3/7. With the same method like this, what you need to do is multiply the numerator 2 times 3 and multiply the denominators 5 times 7. So you will get 2 times 3 is 6, 5 times 7 is 35. So the answer is 6/35. Do you think you can simplify this? No, you cannot divide 6 and 35 with the same number like this, by 2. You cannot divide them with the same number. That means cannot be simplified, so 6/35 is the final answer. Next is how to divide fractions. Bagaimana cara membagi pecahan? Here I have a question. 1/2 is divided by 2/6. How do you solve this problem? We cannot divide fraction directly, so we need to change divide becomes multiply. Kita harus mengubah bagi menjadi kali, karena kita tidak bisa langsung menjawab soal ini. Bagaimana caranya? You need to change bagi menjadi kali by flipping the second fraction, dengan cara membalik pecahan yang kedua. Ingat ya, pecahan yang sebelah kanan, yang kedua. Jangan yang ini, yang ini. Dibalik, flipped. Flipped it, ya. So, you need to flip the second fraction. And then, if you flipped it, maka tanda bagi akan berubah menjadi kali. Dan ini akan terbalik. 6 half. Yang awalnya 2/6, sekarang menjadi 6 halves. Terbalik. Nah, ketika ini sudah terbalik, maka tanda bagi akan berubah menjadi tanda kali. Ya, and now you have this to solve, which is easy for you. Just do like before. Ya, 1 times 6 is 6, and 2 times 2 is 4. So the final answer is 6 quarters. That's the end of today's lesson. If you have questions, please write down your questions down below. And I need everyone to give at least one question. So, everyone needs to give questions, at least one question. Write your questions down below in the comment section, and then I will answer your questions, and maybe your friends will answer the question. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you understand.